Thank you very much once again for inviting me to this very interesting conference. The topic is very, very interesting for all, for higher education institutions in Poland and also for higher education institutions around the globe. Internationalization of higher education is, of course, one of the most important topics in higher education as such. And I'm also one of the big defenders of this concept because actually I also did my PhD on this topic. So I always defend this topic and internationalization of higher education and its benefits to academic staff, to students, to also higher education institutions as well. But before I say what could be, let's say, recommended to higher education institutions in Poland, I would like to encourage all higher education institutions to first of all sit together and to decide what internationalization of higher education is about. So they should define the concept as such, what internationalization of higher education is about, how they should implement international activities at the institutional level and so on. So for this, they have to, of course, prepare a strategy on internationalization of higher education, as this was done in Slovenia last year. So the stakeholders or your association, also the ministry, also higher education institutions are encouraged to sit together to prepare a strategy where they will clearly come to a clear understanding what the concept of internationalization of higher education is about. Then the second question that they have to answer is why they would like to internationalize their institutions. What are the reasons? If they are talking only about economic reasons, I believe that they have to also add to these reasons academic ones too, because they have to also understand that internationalization of higher education, one of the rationales should be that they have to develop their students, their graduates, also their internal staff, academic staff in terms of international competences. Nowadays, we all work in international, let's say, scene where we have to be equipped with multicultural skills, multicultural competences and skills. So therefore, I believe that through internationalization of higher education institutions could also reach this academic goal. So this would be my advice to higher education institutions and also to all stakeholders of Polish higher education. I believe that this association has a great, let's say, opportunity to act as a mediator or a facilitator of preparing this strategy, of, let's say, also helping, supporting higher education institutions to understand how they could realize and how they could implement this internationalization of higher education, and also how they could implement international activities at the institutional level. And we have to also understand that there are different activities, international activities, not only recruitment of international students, that actually is more or less connected to economic reasons and also to demographic trends. We all are aware that domestic students, the number of domestic students is decreasing. So internationalization is could be one of the responses. But once again, I have to emphasize that we have to also think about academic reasons. So we have to, besides recruiting international students, think about joint study programs, think about programs that should be developed and prepared and offered in English language. We have to also think about inviting foreign professors, think about research activities, also extracurricular activities. So there are so many possibilities how to internationalize the institution. And of course, the institution is basically about people. So we have to think about academic staff, we have to think about students, we have to think about internal employees, and of course graduates, and of course external stakeholders as well.